Hey, you guys, today I want to talk about how to connect with teenagers in 2023. How do we connect? How do we actually build a relationship? How do we move from where we are to where they are? How do we connect? How do we come together? And at the end of the day, how do we advance the gospel? How do we help them be a better follower of Jesus? So if you're a Sunday school teacher, a Bible study leader, a discipleship coach, if you are a pastor, if you're a parent, if you are a youth pastor, if you are a person who works with teenagers, and your goal is to connect with them, and your goal is to help them be a spiritual leader, or your goal is to help them follow Jesus, I have some tips for you today. So how do we connect? How do we connect with teenagers? So in order to talk about how we connect with teenagers, let's talk about how we connect with anything. So if you'll think about and maybe take a minute right now and write down the things in your life that you feel like you're connected to. All right, just do a little inventory. You might have to push pause on the video, but I want you to think about what are you already connected to? Okay, so get a list and then answer the question, why am I connected to that? Some of you are married. Why are you connected to your husband? Why are you connected to your wife? All right. If you are passionate about cars, why are you passionate about cars? Why are you connected to cars? I'm a Texas Ranger fan, a lifelong Texas Ranger fan. We won the World Series this year. My team won the first time in history. I'm connected to the Texas Rangers. This was a big deal for me. So build a list of things you're connected to and then ask the question, why are you connected? So here's part of my belief system. I believe we're connected to things that we love. It's a simple truth. And some of y'all are like, okay, Scott, that's great. But here's the deal. We are connected to the things that we love. So love, at our wedding, my wife and I have been married almost 30 years. When we got married, one of the pastors, we had two pastors. One of the pastors said, how do you spell the word love? You spell the word love T-I-M-E. And so when you think about what you're connected to today, when you think about the very thing that you are passionate about and that list of things that you're connected to, one of the reasons that you're connected to that list is because you love those items, those people, those things, those concepts. You love them. And if you love them, you spend time with them. So the first big idea today, if you want to solve the problem of connecting to your small group, your teenagers, the students that you lead, the first thing is, do you spend time with those students? Do you spend time physically? Are you a virtual leader? Are you in their life on a regular basis? Do you see them at church or on Wednesday night or on Sunday night in your programming? Do you make trips to their school to see their activities? Or if they're in drama, do you go see them perform? Or are they an athlete? Do you go to their games? Are they involved in other activities outside your program? Well, if they are, then are you attending? Are you there? Are you physically there? Do you have a group that you text? Do you have people that are virtually connected to you? Are you spending time with your students? So if you want to connect, and my goal in this video is to help solve the problem of you being able to connect with your students. The first thing I want you to think about is, do you love them? Do you passionately care about them? And if you do love them, then you will spend time with them. You want to connect with students, spend time with them. Teenagers in general will gravitate to the oldest person in the room who will respect them, who will spend time with them, who will care for them, who will be there for them whenever life is good and whenever life is hard. All right? This is one of the ways you can connect. Some simple things also to connect. If you want to solve the problem of connecting, learn their names. Walk in the class next time you're with them and say every one of their names. If there's 20 people, say their names. If there's 100 people, work really hard and learn how to say their names. You and I both respond well when people know us, when people know our names. So know your names. If you want to connect, ask yourself the question, are you connecting with your class right now, in your small group, in your youth group? Are you connecting with them? If the answer is yes, now ask the question, how many names do you know? If you are connecting, then my strong belief is that you are leading a group of people that you know. You know their names. You know their names. If you're not connecting, if today you're watching this video and you're like, Scott, I am definitely not connecting with my group, then a simple little test is ask yourself, do you know their names? If you are their youth pastor and you've been there a year and you still struggle to know their names, then you're probably not connecting. All right, so 2 things today so far. If you want to connect, if you really want to connect with your students, ask yourself the question, do you love them? Or are you spending time with them? Second big idea is, do you know their name? All right, number 3, if you want to connect, I want to help you solve the problem today of connecting with teenagers. The third big idea is, do you know anything about those students? If the only thing you know about those students is what they're like when they're with you in your group, in your youth group or in your class, if the only thing you know about them is that, then I promise you, you're probably not connecting very well. Every student ministry leader on the planet needs to know a minimum of 12 to 15 unique things about each person that they lead. And so an activity for you to do today is to stop and go, is to make a list of your group. And let's say the first name on the list is Carson. Write down Carson's name. And then next to Carson's name, take 10 blank lines and then fill in the blanks and say, okay, Carson likes basketball. Carson lives in a rural area. He lives in a small town. Carson has a girlfriend who lives 2 states away. Carson loves his parents. He loves his brother. Carson has a passion for his family. Carson is thinking about school. Carson is graduating. Carson is a fun-loving joker. He loves to laugh. He loves a good joke. He loves a practical joke. Carson loves to play basketball. Carson loves to camp. He loves to go out in the woods and spend time alone or go to a river. He loves to swim. Okay, those are things that are true about a young man that I know named Carson. So take your youth group, take your small group, take your Sunday school class, take your group that you lead and simply make a list of all the names and then come up with 10 things by each name, fill in the blanks. And let's do this until you know 10 things about every student in your group. So the first is you love them, you spend time with them. The second is you know their name. And the third is that you really understand things about them. You know a minimum of 10 to 12 things about that person. Okay? Number 4 is you pray for that person. If you want to connect with your class, if your problem is connecting, if you really aren't connecting, then go to God, take your list, take your names, and you pray. You pray for them. You know that Carson loves basketball. You know that Carson is thinking about college and wondering where he's going to go to school. So you go to God and say, God, I'm praying for Carson today. I'm asking you, God, to help Carson with his decision about school. And then you pray about a number of things. You ask God to help them spiritually. You ask God to give them the ability to withstand temptation. You go through the typical things that teenagers deal with, and you pray for those things. All right? So you love them, you spend time with them, you know their name, you know unique things about them, you're praying about these things with them. All right? So, and then the next thing is you tell them that you're praying for them. You approach those students however you want to do it. It can be in a text, it can be in a phone call, it can be in person. But you tell them, hey, I was praying for you this week. I was praying for you. And by name, I was going to God, the Father, the creator of all things. I was praying for you. This is what I was doing. I was praying for you. All right. So one last thing is hold each other accountable on connection. I would love for you to subscribe to this channel and stick around and be a part of what we're doing. You can always ask me a question of how can I connect better with the students in my group. I would love to have dialogue with you. Please, like, subscribe, support what we're doing with YM Now and with Be Love. But I would love to help you with that. But hold each other accountable. Get somebody in your life that knows what you're doing with your teenagers, and then say, you know what, will you help me connect with these students? All right. Hey, listen, again, I love you. I mean it. This is a blast. I love encouraging people. I love to pour my life into people and to help them grow, especially spiritually. And as a youth leader, I want you to connect with your students, because when you connect, then you can help them know Jesus, and then you can help them grow in their faith, and you can teach them what it means to multiply. You can help them be a disciple who makes disciples. All right. Hey, love you so much. Thanks again. Please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're going to be putting all kinds of content on there. If you need to know more about teenagers, you can visit ymnow.com. And we have a whole section dedicated to youth culture. There's Bible studies on there. There's all kinds of things that we're doing. And please also connect with thebeloveproject.com. We're in the middle of all kinds of activities with that, but please check that out as well. Okay? Again, I love you. Thanks for watching. It's always fun. All right, I'll see you back next time on the next video. Now let's go. Let's make a difference.